Yo, yo, yo. So, welcome to another episode of Africans Talk Football Season 3. Um, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good man,
Doing well, man. Glad the Premier League is coming back this weekend.
for
It's been a
sure.
minute.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all. We took a little week break as they had the international break this past week. Saw a lot of news actually. It's actually a lot of news that happened over this last week while teams were fulfilling their international duties in their home countries.
For sure.
hmm
Um, So let's just get into it. Do we want to start with the international thing and then move to our predictions?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so we were just talking about it, but Hansi Flick, manager of the German national team, was sacked after their loss to Japan 4-2. I honestly didn't even realize that he was sacked until recently.
hmm
I
Yeah,
wasn't really paying a whole bunch of attention to the international break. I was looking at some of the scores. I saw that Japan won all four of their friendlies, which is good for them. I honestly think that
hmm
Japanese team is going to be a very, very solid force to reckon with over the next couple of years. They have a lot of good young players. Matoma is emerging as a young star in the Premier League. We'll talk about Brighton and some of the Prem teams a little bit later, but they have a very good system. They've always had a good program, and now we're starting to see like real stars emerge from that German team. Tomiyasu, another player that is in the Premier League. As
hmm
I said, Matoma. They have some players.
Minamino, Endo,
Minamino, Endo.
Yoshida used to play in the Prem. Yeah.
Exactly.
congrats.
Even when they didn't have these high profile caliber players, they always had a solid team. And
I agree.
now that they're getting these, these diamonds in the rough, they're starting to be a force to be reckoned with. But um,
They're a great team. A great team.
yeah,
hmm
yeah, but
Especially like in the tournaments, like they play well. They play together. They've
Very disciplined
they've
too.
had,
Yeah.
they've had Germany's number, obviously, for the past
In Qatar
couple
and
couple of years.
in Qatar and here. Um,
hmm
but yeah, I think Germany. Shouts out to Japan. Obviously, I don't want to take anything away from them, but I think this says a lot about Germany and the continued decline that they've been on over the past. Um,
two World Cups, to
I
be
would say,
honest.
yeah, it's been like 8 years. Almost a
hmm
decade. This wave of since they won the previous World Cup when they did in what
In
2014.
Brazil, yeah.
Like I just feel like since then they haven't really been able to replicate that new wave of guys. I mean, guys like um, I don't know.
Sane,
Yeah, Sane,
Havertz.
Gnabry, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Havertz, I like Kimmich, Goretzka. Are these guys really enough? Muller's still around. I
Muller's
think
still
with
hmm
around.
Hansi, though, I mean, let's be real. He was the former coach of Bayern. If you followed Bundesliga, I mean, obviously, you know that. Um, at least from what I know,
Champions League winner, right?
yeah, Champions League winner.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think he has that favoritism for those, those Bayern guys, and I think that um, just when I just from the outside looking in, when I look at some of the decisions that were made, like Tony Cruz not coming back, I think part of that had to do with the direction that they were going in, and um, I think that that team is like they got a lot of good players there. I think that they completely underachieved, but
Yeah.
maybe a fresh start here as in the manager is what they need.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, guys like Tony Cruz, you just keep calling them back until they retire. Just makes no sense. The guy is still playing at a high level at one of the best clubs in the world.
Yeah,
He has to be on that team.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like Germany is kind of in that weird space that Belgium is at, where the
hmm
old guard is kind of on their way out and the young guys are kind of on their way in, but there's no real mesh yet. Like the teams
Yeah,
are still trying to figure out how they want to play. They're still trying to
yeah.
re-identify, I guess, try to like
hmm
re-familiarize themselves with who they want to be. And it's crazy because when you look at the German team, I mean, when you look at the German team, most of them play for Bayern Munich, or they play
hmm
for
more
another
of these
high
guys,
caliber
most of
club.
these guys now play for
hmm
Dortmund.
Yeah, or for Dortmund, Bayern Munich, or another very, very elite, highly rated club. So a lot of these guys have played with each other for years, and so when you
Mhm,
see them not have the success, you kind of have to look at the manager. And
mhm.
Mike and I were kind of talking about this, before we started recording, but he was talking about that last goal, where Rudiger seemed to just not even
Stanley.
go in for the tackle. And it's like, well, when you do things like that, you're not playing for the manager. You're
Mhm.
you, so there must be something where they're kind of, I guess, done with Hansi, and obviously you see it now as he's been sacked. But what I do want to talk about a little bit more than that is shout out my young guy, Lamine Yamal, man.
Oh
That
yeah,
kid
Yeah.
for sure.
scored his first international goal. I
Hold on,
forgot who they played.
before we talk about Yamal,
Go ahead, go ahead.
who is Germany's best player? I'm just wondering. Do y'all?
Right now,
Right now,
wow. Kimmich
Musiala,
is in the mix. Well, Muller
Kimmich.
is still there, so I'll say Muller.
Well, yeah, yeah. I would say Mueller is definitely their most decorated, and
Yeah.
he's definitely still playing at a high level. But I don't know if I would say he's
Yeah.
their
I
best.
think to me, Musiala is their best player.
I was gonna say
Musiala or maybe
Musiala.
Kimmich. I'll put Kimmich in there
Yeah,
too.
Kimmich for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean them too. I mean,
Musiala is
to
pretty
be
close.
fair, I'd probably put yeah. Actually, now Musiala to me is like I rate Jude Bellingham very highly, but
Hmm.
Musiala is right there. I think
Yeah.
Musiala might even this
They're
maybe be
one. They're,
hot,
they're they're always like this to me. Like
this
I
may be a
can't
hot take,
say
but I think that he's better than Bellingham.
Yeah. If he was in
a
the
year ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this past year, what I saw Jude Bellingham do on the international and on the club level, I mean, besides what he's doing for Madrid, I think what he was able to do with that Dortmund team last year lead them to,
For
you
sure.
know, almost getting a Bundesliga. It really came down to that last week, and he didn't play for whatever
yeah.
reason. We can all speculate, but it really came down to the last week, and that's in
The
the last
last game
decade.
for yeah.
Yeah, literally the last weekend of matches, and
Hmm.
who knows what it would have happened if Jude played for Dortmund that match. He was on the sidelines. I speculated and said, I'm pretty sure Madrid said, look, that man's coming over here. I don't want him to play. I don't want him to get hurt.
No, 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 no,
I,
no. He
that's
he
just what
couldn't play, bro. He couldn't play. He
that's
couldn't.
just all I'm saying. I personally think
He's contractually obliged to his current team, bro. They made
correct.
it that far in the league. The game was on the
Yeah.
last day of the season. Nah,
He
Yeah.
Hey, he was wearing the practice penny. He was on the sidelines. He was coaching everybody. So I don't know what went on, but
nah.
regardless,
He can't come out in a jumpsuit.
yeah. Regardless, I feel like Jamal and Jude are going to be one of those ones where they're going to be fighting for Ballon d'Ors along with Haaland.
Wow. Already, you think he's that good?
Yes, I think they're
Wow.
going to be.
I mean,
I
if you
think they're
look at
going to
the
be
young best
talents that
player,
are
bro,
up there.
he's there. The guy we're about to talk about now, I think, could be up there. I think the guy that we're about to talk about now could be like what I thought Ansu Fati was going to be, but
Yeah,
it could still be. But
yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
we talked about him a little bit, in our previous episodes, but I think he's the youngest Spanish player to score in an international game, 16 years old. I think they said 130 something days. Every time I watch that kid, it's a 9 out of a 10 performance. He knows when to take players on, he knows when to get the ball off his foot, he knows how to find open space. All of his passes seem to be threatening in the attacking third. Honestly, I haven't seen a left-footed player this good on Barcelona since Messi. Like, I don't want to gas, but
Mhm.
I mean, what he's doing as an international player and what he's doing as a club player this young, I just pray they don't run him into the ground and that he stays healthy because he's seriously like this is a talent I really haven't seen in a long, long time. Like, I know we have a whole bunch of wonder kids. I know we have a slew of good kids coming up through the ranks that are 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, we can look at Jude Bellingham, we can look at Saka, we can look at Foden, we can look at all these guys, but there's something special about this kid. I really can't put it on there, but he doesn't make mistakes, and like he reads the game at a quicker pace than most people do at this level. It's kind of crazy for me to see. So I just wanted to shout him out. Spain was doing their thing. I think they won 7-0 and 9-0 in their international Euro League qualifiers. But shout out to him, man. He's a super special player, and I'm definitely going to be watching him for years
You
to
know what's crazy to me? I feel the opposite way. I'm not sure yet. But like you said, he's very good. I like the way he plays. Um, I'm not sure yet. That's all I have to say. I know
come.
he's good.
I'm
I
sure
can
about
see
this
it.
kid, bro.
I
But
mean, I think, Mike, if I were to ask you this person or this person, if I were to ask you Mudric or him, who would you say?
I'll probably right now because I feel like even the position Mudrick
Wait,
is
what?
in, he
Hold on, it
just
cut out for a second. Hold on. What? It cut out. What'd you say?
no. I would say Yamal right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's. I've seen him consistently play well. I haven't seen Mudrick consistently play well.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I don't know yet, but I felt that way about Ansu Fati, man. I really felt that way about him. Like
Yeah.
I really thought this is the guy that's gonna, give Mbappe the money. He's gonna challenge Mbappe for like Ballon d'Ors and all that, but he falls off, and then this new kid. I really want him to do well, but I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, a follow-up question: who do you think is Spain's best player?
Right now, I think it's what's his name, Morata.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he's the captain. He's scoring goals.
Yeah, I probably have
Olmo
to.
is right there. Pedri's right there.
Right.
Gavi's right there. But I have to give it to Morata right now.
I mean, he would be of the
And
top.
I'm not talking ability. I'm not talking ability. I'm just
That's
saying
fair. That's
pure
fair.
production.
I
Yeah.
mean, he would have to be
Mhm.
right because it'd be Pedri's in there. I think Morata's in there, and then
Mhm.
I mean, other than that, Rodri. Okay,
Oh yeah,
Rodri, yeah.
Rodri. Never mind, Rodri.
from
I
those
would
three,
say,
I'd
yeah,
probably
I was
choose.
gonna say probably Rodri would be the guy for me,
Yeah.
but this might be a shout, and this could just be form because he's been on a tear recently, and by no means is he their best player, but Ferran Torres, he a lot of people wrote him off when he left City, man,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna hold you. I was never a Ferran Torres fan, but
Still not a fan. Still don't
I
see it.
don't know. This
Being right
last
back.
few,
Being
these last couple of weeks, these last couple of months, he's been showing me something. I'm not putting him up there as Spain's best player, but
Yeah.
I believe he deserves to start. Like he's just
How
been on
about
a tear.
Olmo though? Olmo.
Danny almost good
Danny
too.
Olmo too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quietly, the guy I believe he's Spanish, but the left back for Real Madrid, who's been playing
Killing it.
lately,
Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah.
been playing
Yeah.
very well.
He's been
he's
playing
been
very well.
pretty. Yeah, I'm like, okay. I remember I saw it with Jordi Alba. I saw it with um, Danny Carvajal. Like,
Carvajal.
you're going to be the guy who's
You're
there
the
for
next one. Yep.
for the next.
Speaking of Real Madrid, though, I want to say something about Jude's season so far. They're playing him a lot higher. Have y'all noticed?
Yeah, for sure.
He's playing a lot higher.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is also helping. And, Ancelotti, bro, smart.
Yeah. I mean, I think of someone of his skill set, though, I think putting him a little bit closer to goal is like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's genius, especially with the way that
Mhm.
team is made up. No Vinicius
Exactly.
right
No
now.
Benzema.
You don't really have like that, that attacking, focal point. Rodrigo every now and then, just lose to me. He's not that guy, but
Mhm.
bro, I mean, most of the goals that he's getting are like they're like hustle goals. They're like,
Yeah.
they're like
They're not tap ins.
yeah,
Yeah.
like tap ins,
Right
getting
place,
on
right
the
time.
extra end of you know what I'm saying, good anticipation.
Mhm.
Like the one where that's
He
the
headed
thing
the
with Real
ball at
Madrid,
the.
bro. Huh?
You talk about the header at the.
Yeah, I
Or
mean
you
Yeah,
the
the
header,
opposite
but
end,
then it was
yeah.
just like the one dude shot the ball, and it was just like he was the only one that followed on the shot,
Mhm.
and it's just like I think he's ideally what every fan wants when your club spends 100 million. Like
Absolutely.
someone like that's
Absolutely.
what you want, but
He's cooking.
everyone's not Jude Bellingham.
No, I
Even
agree.
even scored for England too.
Yeah,
Scored for England.
he's
Yeah.
been scoring, man, and
If we're talking about the most informed player in the world right now, it'd probably be him.
Absolutely.
I'd agree.
Mhm.
I'd agree.
Mbappe hasn't warmed up yet, but
I
Mbappe
mean,
warms
he's
up.
had a couple too,
Yeah,
but
no, Mbappe too.
not to his standards, you know.
This
Yeah.
might be a shout this year. I think with no Neymar, I think like PSG have shown that like, you know what, we're rolling with you.
The French boys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like the French boys.
French.
I think this is going to be like a Ballon d'Or season for Mbappe.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I guess the previous ones were as well too, but this one I feel like he's going to put up crazy numbers. He has to.
He has to, yeah.
You got the team.
Yeah.
You got the boys that you wanted, bro. He has Kolo Muani, Usman Dembele, the Gonzalo Ramos, the guy who scored a hat trick.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just gonna bring up
Marco
Portugal.
Asensio.
Barcola. Yeah. They built that squad. No excuses, but
Bro, yeah, 50 goals.
we know it's a one season thing. You know, it's a one season thing. He's about to leave anyway.
I think he may re-up. I think them letting go of Neymar really showed him that like, you know, we're rolling with you.
Yeah,
I think he will go to Madrid. Let's be real, but like,
Yeah,
he
he's
can
still
go to Madrid.
He has time. He has time.
He could go to.
still has time.
He could go to in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
still have 5 years to just do whatever you
Fuck around. Exactly.
Yeah, man, they're solid. And like speaking of Gonzalo Ramos, I was just going to talk about Portugal. Portugal looks serious. You know, Ronaldo is no longer, you know, on the squad, and it's wild.
He was suspended. He was suspended. He was back.
Okay. All right.
Come on, man. Don't do my goat like that, man.
Hey,
they're still in awe of him, bro. Like, even like you be seeing the pictures, like he be doing like the shooting drills at the end, and they're all just posted up, just looking at him. Like, it'd be Rafael Leao, Gonzalo Ramos, Bernardo Silva, all these guys that I just named, Bruno Fernandes, you know, Real Mandem, you know, João Cancelo, all like, hey, yo, he's about to shoot.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of like playing with Jordan when he was on the Wizards. Like you could tell it was diminishing a little bit, but there was still stuff he could do on a court that nobody else could do. It didn't matter how old he was. When he laced up, you know you're playing Jordan. Same thing with Messi, same thing with Ronaldo. Like it's crazy that, you know, we watched their whole careers, and unfortunately it's time for, you know, them to think about possibly hanging up the boots in the next couple of years. But it's one of those things where we just appreciate greatness, and every time we get to see them lace up is one of them things where it's like, nah, yeah, they still got it. Like they still got it.
It's funny you say that, man, because if you watch Jordan at the end, you know, he was still averaging good numbers, but like it was ugly. It was ugly 24. You know what I'm saying? It was ugly 26, but we got there nonetheless. I'm just saying, since Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think we've had a striker score more than 17 goals since Ronaldo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about United.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, a year ago, two years ago.
Yeah. There was even a stat that was even built on top of that. That was, I think, the last person to score more than 17 goals. That person was Ronaldo. There was only like, I think, one or two, maybe one person that separated.
I would say probably Van Persie, and then who?
I think it was Ronaldo,
maybe
Van Persie, Ronaldo. No, it was Ronaldo, Rooney, Van Persie, Ronaldo.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Rooney had to be up there.
Yeah.
But.
Yo, speaking of greatness, Cornelius, that list you posted of the 100 all-time best players, I think.
Ever?
Yeah, I can't. I was fuming.
It was rubbish. I was reading the list.
Griezmann over Benzema. Griezmann at like 48, and I think Benzema was at like in the 80s.
I want to say they had Thierry Henry at 58.
I was like, what?
I mean, some of those names on that list, and then not to, you know, this is Africans Talk Football, so we got to talk about it. There wasn't enough African players on there, man.
No.
Absolutely.
There were not enough African players on there, man.
Come on.
So I'm not exactly sure the publication that made that list, but they can go ahead and scrap that.
Yeah, that was all the way wrong. Yeah.
I mean,
but
I'm looking at some, hold on. Can I just speak on some of these guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just list you the top? Can I list you the top 5? So it's Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, and then Estefano, followed by
Wow.
Xavi, Johan Cruyff, Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, Paulo Maldini, and Franz Beckenbauer. I'm sorry, but I just want there to be a few things. First of all, I don't know who Estefano was, but he was not Ronaldo. I'm sorry. Xavi, I love Xavi, but he was no Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo to me is probably like, if we're being real, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you ask an old head, you know what I'm saying, he may tell you Estefano. I don't know who is Stefano. I know he Real Madrid guy. I get it, but like, come on, bro. Look at this list. Zidane is at 12. You know, I
Yeah.
love Luka. Hold on. Why is Angel Di Maria at 17, man?
Above Modric, Iniesta,
Come on,
and
bro.
Ronaldinho.
You say Americans don't know shit about football. Come on, man. Like, what is this?
And then we got Thomas Muller over
At
players
27?
like Zico.
Thomas Muller. Come on, bro.
You're right. Di Maria 17 is way too high.
Ballon d'Or winner,
David
Ballon d'Or
Villa.
winner Kaká at 38. You know, it's
Crazy.
Antoine Griezmann.
Higher than Benzema.
they're putting Zlatan at 55 above
Hold
Thierry
on.
Henry.
Antoine Griezmann is at 48.
48.
I just look over 82 and 83 is Gerrard and Lampard.
No way.
Bro,
That's crazy.
this is fried. Whoever made
got
this
it all
list,
the way wrong.
you're fried. We're doing free promo, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't even name who that was. But to wrap up the international news, obviously I have to talk about the U.S. national team.
yes, sir.
Mhm.
I know they're playing some lesser
Cupcakes.
squads, but
Cupcakes.
this U.S. team is looking solid, man. And we're not even putting up our A squads for a lot of these games, but I'm serious. This U.S. team, I've been watching them since this past World Cup. I've been watching the way they train. Obviously, I've been watching the players in the Premier League. I've been watching them all over Europe. This team is getting better. This team is getting very, very solid. I mean, shout out Christian Pulisic, who's doing a tear right now for Milan. I love to see it. As much as I had my reservations about him when he was a Chelsea player, I always knew he had it in him if he could stay healthy. And I feel like this move to Milan was the perfect move for him. Him and Yunus Musa over there, American boys, and they seem to be clicking really early. Shout out to Wea, who's been on a tear this year as well. Shout out to him. They're all getting their shine, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at players like Brendan Aronson, who's here, even the buddy who was on Royal Antwerp, can't remember his name, another young guy. There are a lot of these young players who are actually getting a lot of time in Europe, and they're getting a lot better, man. I still think we need a different manager because at the end of the day,
Oh, it's the same guy, right? He came back.
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't think the manager who we have now is ready to get us over the hump. But I like what the U.S. team is doing. We're getting a lot of players in rotation. Pepe has scored in his last two friendlies, I believe. He scored against Oman, and then can't remember the other team we played. But I love to see.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah. I love to see a lot of these guys they're rooting for Pepe. And like I said at the last World Cup, he wasn't ready to be the starting striker.
Mhm.
We still don't have a starting striker. Personally, I don't believe
Balogun.
we have one.
Balogun
But
is it, bro. He's at.
oh, true. I forgot we got.
Yeah.
Shout out Wale.
He
Shout out my
scored,
boy
actually.
Falarin, man.
Right.
Falarin
He's
also
Falarin.
scoring.
It only took, like 20 some years, 15 plus years, but we finally got the 9 that we were looking for.
Finally got a real striker, and it's nice to see that there's going to be some competition in the camp when you see players like Pepe scoring, and when you have Brendan Aronson behind you, and it's very, very fun to watch. Very, very fun to watch.
The defense too, like keeping clean, like playing well defensively. Like, man, I think as a U.S. fan, I think there's a lot to be encouraged about. Like you said, I think Pulisic looks like completely refreshed. I think it helps. I think going into a situation like Milan where you don't have to be the guy, you can just lay
The
out.
pressure's not as
Yeah,
bad.
the pressure's not on you all like that. You don't really have to, you just have to do what he does best. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's working, man. So I think with him, Musa playing well, Tim Weah, man, you talk about someone who, like, don't count him out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
crazy injury still comes back and looks like up for it. So our attack, as Americans, like it looks good, man. We got
Mm-hmm.
Balogun, Pulisic, and Tim Weah. That's not bad,
You
bro.
could do something with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though Weah has had some pretty rough injuries early in his career, he's only 23.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
you look at the core of this American team, like I said, by the next World Cup, our core should be all around 24, 25, 26. They'll be hitting their prime. We should be a force to reckon with, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
very good to watch. And Salam, as you were talking about defense, I was just looking at who we played at our last match. We had Serginho Dest, we had Miles Robinson, brother of Anthony Robinson. We had Chris Richards, who plays for Crystal Palace. We have some guys back there. Even Tim Ream, 35, still got a little bit
Full.
of gas
Yeah.
in the tank. Still got a little bit of gas in the tank. I mean, eventually we're
Mhm.
going to have to move on from him, but it's it's very refreshing, and it's very great to see that this US team is figuring it out, and gradually they're getting better on the world level. It's not like teams can look at us and they call us chumps anymore because we're practicing with you at Juve, we're practicing with you at AC Milan, we're here in Crystal Palace, we're here in Fulham. So it's very good to see that these players are getting that international experience, and also this this club experience abroad.
Yeah.
For sure.
But just to finish up the international news, man, how y'all feel about Southgate as we switch to talk
Bro.
about England a little bit in our English clubs?
This Maguire pity party has to end. Like, I'm sorry. It's like, why are we always treated or have to treat Maguire special?
Exactly.
Clean game,
Why?
3
Why is
goals.
it?
The only one goal is him. Like, at some point, it's not even like abuse. It's just so obvious. Like, stop putting him in positions to get abused. Like,
He doesn't need to play.
he didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Literally that simple.
Yeah, man. I think I agree. I think the one thing that I do kind of respect is I guess, like, as a manager, I don't know. I just look at it from this perspective. Like, I do respect Southgate's, like, consistency. Like, he's gonna ride for his guy, regardless. And I think that,
But he's not riding for Sterling. He's not riding for some of these
no,
guys.
for sure. I think that a part of it is also just like kind of protecting a player who needs, I guess, protecting. But then, like, when you look at the situation, why does he need protecting? Because he's not really up for playing at this level. I don't, at this point, to me, I don't think that he should be even in the camp. He certainly doesn't need to be playing, though. Like, you have, and why are you playing Lewis Dunk? You know what I'm saying? Like just
Gahey,
play tomorrow.
Tamari. You
Play
have
tomorrow.
young men on the bench.
Play Gahey, play Levi Colwell, play the guys that you know are good enough. It's just like, as an England, I'm not an England fan, but as an England fan, like, it must be frustrating knowing that your manager will never pick the best players. Like, I think there should be no reason why Maguire's even considered as the third or fourth center back, because it's not. If
You
Luke
have options.
and he's healthy, he's better at center back than you are. So, and he's a left back. So, like, I just think that, again, I think it's just more of, I don't know, man. It would have just have been nice to see, Paul Pogba get this level of protection, and
Oh, speaking of Pogba, how did you guys feel about his thing?
free my guy Pogba, man. Free my guy Pogba, man.
Did you guys hear what he said? Some supplements.
He said I ate some supplements and I didn't know what was in them.
No, I feel him, bro. But, like, you gotta look at it from his side, bro. He's had so many injuries over the past, like, 12 months, bro. Like, you're just trying to get back. And I'm sure, I'm not condoning PEDs, but I'm just saying, like, I feel for a guy who can't stay healthy and is trying to do, his best and trying to get back. And unfortunately, this just sucks, man. Because if this is true, then it's just like, that's his career. Like, you should have just
4 years. Yeah.
You should have just went to Saudi, bro, and called it. I mean, I think he probably still could, right? Like, he could. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works with the laws there.
I mean, I think he still has a chance for an appeal. So the 4 years is like, okay, without us investigating anything, usually this is what we give. So
Yeah.
then after everything is done, they'll actually give him what it is.
Mm.
But it's sad, man. Like you said, it's really sad, man. I hope it's not like intentional or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It the rise and falls of of some of our favorite players is
It's
it's the
crazy.
highest of highs, and sometimes they get the lowest of lows. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, he is our African brother. I know he is naturalized French, but African brother, and I do wish him the
Mm-hmm.
best. And
Yeah.
hopefully, it is an accidental thing that he just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about, and maybe whoever is running the appeal will see that and give him the benefit of the doubt. To be honest, because the world isn't the same when Paul Pogba isn't on the pitch.
Yeah,
I can
man.
say that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, some great international news. But the Premier League is back this weekend,
Exactly, baby.
Sure.
and as we always do on this podcast, we like to do predictions where we believe our teams will fall on the table throughout the year. We like to do about three a year. We do one in the beginning of the year after our teams play about a month's worth of games. We will do another prediction halfway through the season. So at about match week 19, match week 20 to,
Mm-hmm.
reassess. And then with 10 games left, usually in the Premier League season, we go back and we do our final predictions on where we think teams will fall on
Understood.
the top 10 spots of the table, and then who we believe will get relegated. So without further ado, let's get these picks in, my boy.
Who wants to go first?
So honestly, I was gonna go with Gabriel. So because
Oh
unfortunately
yeah, yeah, he's not here.
Gabriel's not able to be with us. He's getting ready for another trip across the pond. Maybe he'll be kicking it with
Ooh.
Saka and the Mandem soon. Who knows?
Hmm.
Who knows? I heard Pusha
Big
T is dropping a
Monty.
verse for them new kits. Maybe they'll be over
Oh
there
wow.
too.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll go ahead. Gabriel gave me his list of predictions. So as we historically do, I'll start with the 10th team, and then I'll go from 10 all the way up to who he believes will win the league. So predictions September 14th, 2023. Gabriel believes that in 10th place will be Chelsea.
Wow.
Wow.
That's my guy,
Let me
man.
let me let me
Wow.
let,
Gabriel.
let me get through his list.
Wow.
Let me get through his list, and he's not here to rebuttal, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah, go ahead.
So 10th place, once again, he has Chelsea.
Yeah.
9th place, he has Brentford.
Yeah.
8th place, he got United. 7th place, he's got Aston Villa.
If he doesn't if he doesn't have himself at first, I swear I'm going to call him.
6th place, he's got Newcastle. In 5th place, he has Spurs. Yeah, 5th place, he has
Wow.
Spurs. So then Champions League berth with the first one, he has Brighton at 4th place. Liverpool at 3rd place. City at 2nd place, and then he has Arsenal winning the league.
Yeah, he chose the right day to be off. I have so many questions. So many questions.
That's
For the three teams he's
Aston
got.
Villa is gonna be better than us.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
he's got Luton, Everton, and Burnley as the teams that get relegated
Wow, okay.
this year.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 for relegation too. Honestly, when he sent me his list, I said that's nasty behavior putting Chelsea at 10th.
Yeah.
And you know what his response was? Last year you guys were 13th, so this must be an improvement. I was like, first of all, we were 12th. So watch your mouth.
That's
Watch your
funny.
mouth.
he's not wrong.
But
He
yeah,
was
I mean,
not.
for him to put United and Chelsea below Aston Villa for me it was a little eye opening. I'm like,
Yeah.
what has Villa done so much in these first 4 matches that has you
Believing.
believing in Unai Emery and this team? Granted, they do look a lot better than they have in the past. Last year with getting Unai Emery, we saw a resurgence of Villa. They actually looked a lot better. Ali Watkins was starting to score goals, but 7th place is crazy to me. I understand why he put
Disrespectful.
Brighton at fourth place. I think he's giving Spurs the benefit of the doubt because of the way they started, but I don't know if they're better than Newcastle to me either. So for him to put Spurs above Newcastle and then Villa above United and Chelsea, I'm like, all right, bro. I'm not sure
That's
exactly what
crazy.
you see, but yeah, we're gonna have to talk to him when when we record
Absolutely.
next, and all four of us are back on the pod. But did y'all have anything to say about his four or his top 10?
Nah, I mean, I think if I was him, he would have to put Arsenal at one,
Hmm.
considering how last year went. Um, I just think that we're a little um, the recency bias with Brighton. I understand. I'm not taking anything away from them, but to have them at fourth place, I
That's
think,
wild.
come on, hipster FC. Gabriel's the captain.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Every time you call a team hipster, though, they
how
end
do
up
you
doing
have
all right.
he's the one that? But where do you have Newcastle?
He had him at I want to say five.
You didn't even have
Yeah,
them.
he had
Well, I think this year's
Arsenal
top
one,
five.
City two, Liverpool three.
Top five
No,
is
yeah,
Champions League, right? Top five is Champions League.
Yeah,
Brighton at
now, yeah,
four,
new format.
Spurs at five, then Newcastle at six. He's got Newcastle
Okay,
at six.
I'm gonna follow that up. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna just run through it. At 10, I have Brentford. At 9, I
Sorry, give me a
have
sec because I'm writing yours down too.
yeah. At 10, I have Brentford. At 9, I have West Ham. At 8, I have Brighton. At 7, I have Chelsea. At 6, I have Spurs. At 5, I have Newcastle. At 4, I have Liverpool. At 3, I have Arsenal. At 2, I have Man United. And Man City will win the league again. Just a
Wow.
few points for me. I just feel like I know West Ham has had a brilliant start. I think that will taper off. Brighton, I think, will do well enough to stay afloat. But even just looking at these teams on paper, these are 10 good teams. So I think at the end of the season to be amongst this 10 is good for them. Chelsea, I think at 7 is respectable considering where they were last year. I think having one game a week, I think that you guys will figure it out. But the thing is you're going to have those inconsistencies. And I just feel like you're going to drop the games that you probably shouldn't drop. And then in the big games, I think you might surprise a few people.
Hmm.
Yeah, Spurs at 6. I think they've had a good season, but I still have I don't know. It's hard to gauge with Spurs.
Yeah.
This could be a new chapter for them, but I don't know, man. More of the same there. Newcastle at 5. I don't really have much to say. That's just where they fall.
Mhm.
Liverpool, I think honestly, Liverpool and Newcastle, I could have had switching. Defensively, I think
Mhm.
Liverpool is going to concede a lot of goals. To be honest with you, I think going forward from out of all the top 6 teams, I think they'll concede the most goals. And I think
Wow.
that could potentially hurt them in terms of like wherever they land. And as far as Arsenal, United, and City, I mean, City, I don't really want to talk too much. I just, as a United fan, I feel like no one has really seen the best of Man United yet.
Hmm.
Ten Hag hasn't either. So I think with Rasmus coming in, Amrabat coming in, I think that those two will really help out. That Rasmus cameo was very encouraging. To
Hmm.
me, Amrabat, I feel like is going to come in, and I've never been so confident of a player than like
I
coming in.
mean, he has experience.
Yeah, yeah. He has the experience. Like he's not past it. He has the legs. He's
Mhm.
African, so he has like the mentality, the work rate, all that. So I mean, just like last year, they started off slow, and United had a great, well, relatively great season. But yeah, City will win the league, unfortunately.
Okay.
Now it comes to Chelsea boys.
Yeah, I can go first. I'll go ahead and rattle
Yeah,
mine
go
off
ahead.
because I feel like where we place Chelsea is going to be a little different. But for me, I said 10th place will be West Ham,
Mm.
ninth place will be Brentford, eighth place will be Chelsea,
Wow.
seventh place will be Newcastle, Sixth place will be Spurs.
Okay.
Fifth place will be United. And then the top four, I got Brighton, Liverpool at
Wow.
three,
What are people seeing in Brighton? It's
Arsenal
crazy.
at two, and then City at one.
Yo, Brighton hype.
Wow. Yeah,
Brighton
the
Yeah,
hype.
Brighton
man.
life is crazy to me right now.
So I'll start off. I'll start off with Chelsea being at eight, and I put them there because they've shown me nothing
Mm.
over these first four matches. Has been very inconsistent, and I to piggyback off Salam, I think that's how our season is going to go. We're going to have some highs, we're going to have some lows. I can see us winning 3-4 matches in a row, and then easily going down in a slump where we lose two or three. And I personally don't know how we're going to recover from that because we don't really have many leaders on our team. So when we go into a slump where we maybe lose two or we drop points to a team that we shouldn't drop points to and go maybe 3 weeks with no win, I don't know how we climb back from that. Um, I still don't have much faith in Poch as that manager that's going to get us back on our horse. Again, because of the inconsistency I've seen over these first 4 matches. So for me, I really am just hoping that we can get some sort of stability over these next couple of months, and hopefully, that changes because I don't think on well let me say this on the pot. On paper, we have a top four squad in the Prem, a thousand
Mhm.
percent. With the money we spent, the
Do you?
players that
Do
we
you?
have,
Do you?
I
Mhm.
believe we have a top. I,
Absolutely.
I
I
believe,
agree.
or I guess Champions League is top five, so I'll say top
Do you
five.
think you have a Champions League striker?
No, not yet. I don't think we have a Champions League striker, but based off the players that we have and the caliber of what they're supposed to be, I think we can put together a front three that can score 30 goals in the Prem. And then if we get, midfielders to pitch in here or there, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't really see Nicholas Jackson scoring 20 this year in the Prem. I don't see him scoring 15 in the Prem. I can see him scoring around 15 to 18 all competitions, considering
Mhm.
we're in the FA Cup and the Carabao as well. But with no international play, I don't really see, or with no European play, it's good for us. And I think it just gives us 1 and or 2 games a week to focus on. But I need to see a little bit more stability. Um,
Mhm.
I got Brenton, or not Brenton. I got Brighton at top four, man. Based off what they've done last year and how they've continued to build, even with selling players and bringing players in, they have a good system. It seems like they really are flying under the radar, even though they're smacking some of these teams. And
Mhm.
because they have Brighton this year feels to me how Newcastle was last year. They started off strong. Nobody really with Newcastle, nobody really was paying them attention until it was halfway through the year. They came back after the World Cup and they were still firing. Obviously, they're going to taper off, I feel like, in January and February, as a lot of teams do. But with their manager, I mean, he was with them last year after Graham Potter, left and went to Chelsea. And it seemed like they didn't skip a beat. They got a lot better. And so for me, I think that this Brighton team, they don't have to play, in the Champions League. So they're not seeing a lot of these teams that United has to see, that Arsenal has to see. So on a week where you might have a Wednesday night game and then turn around on Sunday with tired legs, Brighton might be 100% ready to go at you, and those will be those tricky games where I think they'll get a result where maybe at the beginning of the year they possibly didn't think they could get a result. So I think Brighton
I
is going to
agree.
be right in that Newcastle 4 to 5 tricky team to beat this year. Spurs,
Interesting.
I think they'll be Spurs. I think they'll be right around sixth place under United. I'm giving United the benefit of the doubt because I still believe in Ten Hag. I saw what he was able to do last year as his first year as a manager, get a trophy, maintain top four. And so I know he's having his little turmoil. But I mean, look, we look at what Ten Hag had to deal with last year in his first month. Ronaldo was gone. Jadon Sancho was going through his ting. He had to implement a new style of play for a new team. It took them a little bit to get together and try to figure out how he wanted to play. So I think United's in a good spot. Where I think it's going to be hard for them this year is that you guys are in a lot of competitions. You're in Champions League, obviously FA Cup, Carabao. So you're going to have weeks where you you play 3 matches in 10 days, 11
Mm-hmm.
days. You're going to have to
Catch
be
up.
able to turn that around. And looking at your roster right now, I don't know if you guys have, you got the bodies, but I don't know if everyone's going to be able to play at that caliber week in, week out for you guys to, potentially fight for the title this year. So that's kind of where I'm at with you guys.
All right.
That's fair.
It's my turn. It's my turn. All right. So at 10, I have Aston Villa. I think with Europe and the inexperience, they're going to suffer in the league. I have West Ham at 9. I have Newcastle at 8.
Okay.
Newcastle, from what I've seen so far this season, I think they're beatable. Uh, they can get got. After the Liverpool game, it tells me that they can be fragile. I have them at 8. At 7, I have Brighton. At 6, I have Chelsea. At 5, I have Manchester United. 4, I have Tottenham. 3, I have Arsenal. 2, I have Liverpool. And 1, I have City. Obviously, City is still the best team in the league. They have the best striker. They have the best midfield, and I can say possibly best defense. So I think they're a complete team, and I can see them winning the league. Liverpool, on the other hand, I also think they've rebuilt very well.
I agree.
Coming into the season, we were all worried, oh, Liverpool's midfield. They just added Gravenberch and what's his name, Endo. Szoboszlai, McAllister are all great players. I think Liverpool will be fine. What's his name is coming back? Bastatic. He's a very great player. So Liverpool have enough depth in midfield to, I feel like, hang around. They also have Thiago. He's still there. So
Wow.
that's why I put Liverpool at 2. Arsenal at 3. I feel like it's not gonna go like last season. And now you're the hunted. You're not hunting anymore. You're the hunted. Everybody wants you. And inexperience, is gonna get them. And like I feel like they're still trying to figure things out. And they're gonna have games where they, drop points because of that. So I have them at 3. I have Tottenham at 4 because no competitions, just 3 domestic competitions, 1 game a week. They've been playing well. I think it'll keep going for a little bit. 5, United. I think United, like Salam said, I think they're better than what we think they are. If everything falls in place, United could make a run. But do I see them as a top 4 team? I don't think so. I don't see them as a top 4 team right now. Chelsea, this on paper. This 6th pick is me saying that we spent enough money on guys that should be able to push for us to make that top 6 spot. I think we have enough to do that. Are we going to? Is the question. Too many injuries so far. I can already tell it's going to be an inconsistent season, and I feel like with the guys we have, we should be able to win. I agree with Salam. We're going to drop points in games we should win, and probably surprise. I mean, look at how we played against Liverpool. You would think we were back, and we weren't. So
Next week we see West Ham, and yeah.
Brighton at 7. I think they don't have enough depth to be competing in a Europa League. I just don't see it. And eventually, when you have to play 3 days after playing in the Prem, we're gonna see that they won't be able to hang. And we forgot, what's his name? Ferguson got a hat trick before we went to break.
Mm-hmm.
Before that game, it was 5-0 against Newcastle. Who did they play? Newcastle? It was 5-0. Let's not forget that. So I don't know. I don't think they're gonna make a push for top 4. There are too many good teams in front of them. Newcastle at 8. I explained it. I just feel like they're not as strong as we think they are. They really aren't. West Ham at 9. They have good signings. I feel like they'll hang around. They don't have that it to be in one of those top 7 spots. I just don't see it. Like they've added some good players, but I just don't see them winning games consistently like they have so far. Aston Villa, inexperience, European games. They're gonna have to start making decisions on what to focus on, and Emery's a good European coach. Like they might end up trying to push for Europe. So I
I
feel
can see
like
that.
this might, have them dropping off a little bit. So that's why I have them at 10th. I still think they'll have a decent season. Relegation, I have Everton, Sheffield, and Luton Town. I think Burnley makes it out. Everton, if they don't go, it has to be something. It's just this is the year. This is the year.
No, Everton. I think
Mhm.
Everton will survive, bro.
I
Nah,
think this is the year.
I think it's
It's time.
Luton, Burnley, and
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Sheffield is who I'm worried about.
Three teams that came are going to be the three teams going back.
I mean, yeah, it's hard because I said the same thing about Nottingham Forest last
Mhm.
year. I just think Nottingham Forest, they are doing whatever they can to not go back
Go
down.
back exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Taking loan after loan, lever after lever. It's
Yeah,
just
they're
like,
Yeah, I don't.
scratching for everybody.
I don't know who their owners are, but they're willing to spend on
yeah,
whoever.
Yeah,
A
not,
million here, 2 million there. Let's
it's
go
a,
they
get
it's
bought
a rich,
this
yeah,
done.
it's a
Cho.
rich
They
history.
bought Cho.
Um, no, definitely. I think, yeah, no, most definitely. It's going to be hard for Luton. Luton is the team that I'm just
Mhm.
like, how do you? It's a great story, but
Yeah,
I just,
can
you
you
know,
survive?
I'm sorry, man, but you're competing against Saudi money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a big man thing when you get to the Prem.
Yeah, let's get into predictions though. Who do you guys play this weekend?
Bournemouth on Sunday, I believe.
Mm,
Bournemouth away, yes.
Away. Yep.
Sunday, I believe the game's at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
our time, Eastern Standard.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that this time off gave everybody a lot of time to think,
To
prepare,
reflect.
get their
Yep.
bodies right, get their mentals right. As my guy, likes to say, protect your mental, protect your chicken.
Yeah,
I hope they went back home, got some good food to eat,
yeah.
able to hug their
Mm-hmm.
parents,
Don't
kiss
get
their
caught.
girls, just
Mm-hmm.
take some time off, not think about football. But no, we're back. It's Thursday. We got a match in 3 days. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
we can get away with another. I see us. Bournemouth is a tough team to beat. I mean, they've been
Mm-hmm.
here for a couple of years now, so it's not like they're one of those teams that will be fighting relegation. Hopefully, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we can get a 1-0 win. I would love a clean sheet. Um, just a 1-0 win was where I'm standing.
Wow. 1-0 is so sad, but I'll just push it to 2-1, just for the sake of, But like you said, 1-0 is so realistic.
Yeah.
For this Chelsea team right now, I feel like 1-0 is a realistic score, but I'll say 2-1. Chelsea win.
Okay. United has Brighton. I think
Hmm.
after that loss to Arsenal, it would have been
Where's
nice
the game?
to kind of go back to kind of go into the international break. I think like you guys said, reflect, take time away from it, come back refreshed and ready to go. But unfortunately, we've had a lot of drama at the international break. Jadon Sancho, Ten
Out
Hag
of here.
obviously had um, their differences about how each other needed to conduct themselves, whether it be in training or not. But I think with that situation, I think Sancho was wrong in coming out and saying whatever he said. I don't think that he has
Yeah.
any grounds to really
That
stand on.
statement.
Yeah, I think that statement just seems like a very just like I don't know, man. It's the timing of it is not good. You haven't really been playing well since you've gotten here,
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't know, bro. Like I'm not one to say that like oh yeah he definitely wasn't training well, but I see your effort in games, so I can't even imagine what your effort is in training. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Good point.
unfortunate that between that and like the Anthony situation, it's just like we just we're always like we can't ever focus on the main thing being the team, but it is what it is.
It's a tough game though. You guys have coming up.
Tough game against Brighton. I
Yeah.
think I think this is going to be tough for us, man. Especially because I think Maguire and Lindelof will play. And I think
Wow.
that's going to be the center back pairing. Hopefully, Lindelof is healthy enough to come back, and it's not Johnny Evans and Maguire. If it's Johnny Evans and Maguire, I think we stand no chance. So hopefully Lindelof comes back ready to go, and hopefully Maguire can just. I just don't understand like how we're still in this position with him. I do. He's on high wages, which is why he doesn't want to go. But it's just sad. But yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1. I think we get a point.
Feel like
Where's
that's
the game? Is it at Old Trafford?
I think it's away.
Oh man,
I could be mistaken. I have no idea.
was Brian the American
yeah.
American Express
Amex.
Stadium?
The Amex.
Yeah, the MX. I mean, regardless of if it's at Old Trafford or if it's at the MX, it's going to be difficult. It's at okay, so it's at Old Trafford, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, we're always a much better team at home. Hopefully, Rasmus can get us going, but I know we're going to concede, man, and that's going to be the hardest part about it. But I think we'll get a point. You know what? Forget it. I think we'll get. Nah, I'm not gonna. We'll get a point. It's just I can't even get like excited, man. It's just the thought of Maguire and like it's just just don't even spare yourself.
I could see you was conflicted.
Does anyone know who Arsenal plays? Who does Arsenal play?
I was actually just looking at it. Yeah, so Arsenal plays.
We should look into the this
I think
this
they
is
have
the
one of the
title
big
mark.
games this week.
They got Everton away from home. This is the title mark
Everton. Okay.
at Goodison Park.
Tottenham is next week, I think.
They're the other Sunday game. Yeah, Arsenal should get that dub, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit, we'll see, bro. I think it might be a doozy at Goodison, man.
Yeah, they should get the dub. But last year when they went there, it was a dogfight.
Yeah, Abdoulaye Doucouré, my guy. I gotta tap in with him, man. Abdoulaye.
So we got a little interesting matchup. West Ham, they've looked decent so far. They play City at 10. You think they take any points off City?
Nah, I feel like West Ham has never beaten City, man. I feel like there's just certain matchups, bro.
It's
like
just,
Man City just whoops up on West Ham. I don't know, bro. It'd be the games where you used to see Declan Rice just running back and forth, just like just not about to touch the ball.
Like somebody help this guy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they're not doing anything in that game. No way. Oh no, it's a London Stadium. That I think is that why you're. Yeah?
Nah, man. I think
West Ham's at home. That's why I just said it's interesting.
It could get interesting.
You think about it. No Pep. Pep isn't there. I think De Bruyne is not there still, right?
Right.
Yep, he's out.
De Bruyne's not there, so I mean, yeah, it could. I mean, any of these games. I think for them it'd be wise to collect as many points as they can now before Pep comes back, because you don't want to be in a situation where he comes back, De Bruyne comes back, and it's just like, well, damn, Arsenal's well. I don't know. Watching the way it went last season, Arsenal could get up 9 points. You know what I'm saying? The last few weeks of the season, and then shamelessly blame Saliba. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's be careful. Arsenal fans, I tell you, man. But shouts out. You guys got shout outs? I have to. I'll shout someone out.
Kudus, man. Kudus is cooking for us, man. So happy, man. The Ghana team is looking nice. It's looking nice.
Hey, good for you.
Our star boy.
Ethiopia is probably not going to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. Neither is Liberia. So, hey, man, that's my shout out. Ethiopia and Liberia, man. Just thank you for participating.
We just happy to be there, man. We just happy to be there.
Nigeria, though.
Speaking about Liberia, man, shout out my boy Tim Weah, son of currently the only African Ballon d'Or winner, George Apon Weah. little funny tidbit. So Liberians are so unserious. Liberia is having an election coming up, presidential election, and George Weah has been the president for the last, I believe, 6 years.
Oh
'Cause I think
wow,
that's how
it's
they
in
turn.
that skill. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's how. I think their terms are 6. I believe. Don't quote me on that. It's either 4 or 6. But this
Hmm.
man had a whole promo video of he brought the Ballon d'Or and he was like, "Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
This show
yeah,
you what I could do for my people."
yeah.
It's like, bro, you see the
No
country is in
flavor.
poverty and you're bringing up the Ballon d'Or.
He
People don't
said,
care
man,
about that.
he's
We
tugging
need
on your
roads.
heartstrings,
We need
man.
schools.
Yeah.
We need infrastructure. You talk
Remember
about
that
soccer.
feeling I gave you? Remember? Yeah,
I was
when I
like,
was.
this man is so unserious. But
Yeah,
shout out,
Mm.
Wea,
yeah.
man.
Shout out
Mm.
George Way and his son, man. But yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Drop your Premier League predictions on how you think the rest of the season is gonna go.
Yeah, let us know where you think your team will end up, or if you want to drop a top 10 on our socials as well. We would love to see and have a little bit of conversation on how you guys
Mhm.
thought we did and where you think your team might end up this year.
Absolutely, let us know. And as always, good luck to you and your future.